Gingerbread cookies. Gingerbread cookies are the first thing that comes to mind whenever I think of Christmas cookies. They are obviously irresistible due to their spice, molasses flavor, smiles, and charm. Cookies made of gingerbread, you have my heart. These cookies are soft, chewy, and lightly spiced. All these simple ingredients combine together to form the ideal cookie, completely foolproof. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Cookie and today I'm here with a super fun gingerbread cookie recipe. So if you have kids around, you surely would want to make these for them. Are you ready to bake them with me? Let's get started. For all the mommies out there, I'm sure your kids must be asking you year after year when we're going to make the gingerbread man, the gingerbread houses, or a gingerbread candy cane. And the kids surely track the number of hours until it's time to whip up the dough in the mixer. I think I should start making these for all the holidays since they are so simple to make. For all those who are getting confused between these ginger snaps and gingerbread, well, the main distinction between gingerbread and ginger snaps is that the latter requires a longer baking time to achieve their crispness, while the former is slightly chewier and almost always rolled out into different shapes like gingerbread men and other holiday figures. The best part about making gingerbread cookie dough is that you can do it ahead of time. It keeps in the refrigerator for up to 5 days and freezes beautifully. But when it comes to the texture of my gingerbread cookies, I can be a little picky. They must be chewy and soft. Your goal is to prevent their spread, and the texture must be appropriate, not to mention the ideal ratio of spices and molasses for fantastic flavor. Let's see all the ingredients you'll need to make these beautiful cookies. For the gingerbread cookies you'll need, first you'll need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, plus up to 1 more cup if needed. Then we have here half a teaspoon of baking soda, and also half a teaspoon of salt. Next, we'll need some ground ginger, so here I've put aside 1 teaspoon of it. Then here's 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. We also have set aside half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, half a teaspoon of ground cloves, a half a cup or 8 tablespoons unsalted butter, and half a cup granulated sugar. And the most important ingredient is molasses. We have half a cup plus 2 tablespoons of molasses here. I make these cookies with unsulfured molasses. This type of molasses is produced by clarifying and concentrating mature sugar cane. Sulfured molasses, on the other hand, is produced from immature sugar cane. As a result, when processing immature sugar cane, manufacturers add sulfur dioxide to the mixture. And lastly, 1 large egg. Make sure it's large enough. Then for the royal icing you'll need 4 cups confectioner's sugar, 3 tablespoons meringue powder, half a teaspoon cream of tartar, 6 tablespoons warm water. You can add more if needed. Now that we have all the ingredients aligned, let's grab the mixer and get started with making the gingerbread cookies. Okay, so before we get started, I'll just let my oven preheat at 375 degrees. Now, use whatever type of mixer you have, be it a hand mixer, paddle attachment, or just an electric one. I'll put all my dry ingredients into this huge bowl here. So here goes 2 cups of flour, baking soda, and salt. We'll also add in our ginger, cloves, cinnamon, and nutmeg. Now turn on the flame because we're going to melt some butter. I'll just melt it in a saucepan over low heat. That's it, guys. Now I'll just take it off the heat and then gradually add the granulated sugar and molasses. And here goes the large egg as well, and mix it really well. Now we'll move back to our flour mixture and add this butter mixture to it. We'll turn on the mixer now because we need to give it a good stir. Make sure you're just doing it at medium speed. If you think the mixture is still not firm enough to make balls, then add tablespoons of the remaining 1 cup of flour that we initially put aside for a situation like this. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you should add that whole cup, just add according to the requirement. As soon as you think you can make balls out of the dough, just stop right there. So now I'll set my tray here. I'll use a sizable flat sheet pan and spray it with cooking spray on the underside so the cookies don't stick to it, and in an effort to take them off the tray, you won't break them. Here comes the fun part. I'll start rolling out 1/2 of the dough with a rolling pin to completely cover the sheet pan. I recommend that you keep the dough a 1/4 inch thick so that it gets that soft, chewy texture we're looking for. Use cookie cutters to make cookies. Remove any extra dough from around the cookie using a sharp knife. Re-roll the scraps along with the remaining dough. Now, we'll put them in the oven and bake these beautiful pieces. The baking time depends on how big these cookies are, but it should take approximately 6 to 8 minutes. The cookies are out, and as you can see, these are just pale brown. This is the color you should be aiming for. Don't let it get too dark there. As the cookies cool, they will start getting solid. Now I'll bake the rest of the cookies. I just shaped them here. Now we'll decorate the cookies that have cooled. Royal icing can be used to decorate cookies using a pastry bag, but for that, we'll make our royal icing first. All you have to do is mix the sugar, meringue powder, and cream of tartar in the bowl of an electric mixer fitted with the whip attachment. We'll mix it at a low speed until we can see that the icing has turned into a light and fluffy texture. Now turn the mixer to high speed for about 6 to 7 minutes while adding the water on medium-high speed. At this point, if you find it necessary, you can thin out the frosting by adding a teaspoon at a time of additional water. Now I'll just add it to the piping bag. Before decorating your cookies, let them cool to room temperature. Although it may be tempting to rush the decorating process, icing will simply melt and slide off the sides of the warm cookies. It is best to wait until they are completely cool before covering them in icing. There are countless possibilities when it comes to decorating these cookies. Beyond icing, you can add sprinkles, color your icing, or decorate them with elements like eyes, buttons, or other decorations using small candies. I made use of the red, white, and green sequins in this pack. For something incredibly simple, you could even just sprinkle them with powdered sugar. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel on the way out. Happy baking!